Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Warren, and this is 9 to 5 Nightmares.
I'm Nicole Garati, and we talk about misconduct so you can avoid it.
And we have an exciting topic this week. We haven't gotten to talk about Bravo or Housewives or anything in a while. Now,
Yes.
shocking that we're talking about it, and it has to do with misconduct, right? Because, it wouldn't be reality
Yeah.
TV and it wouldn't be Bravo if there wasn't some kind of misconduct in it. And for all of you Bravo fans out there, this is probably nothing new because all of us are up on the news about what happened with Jill Zarin and her getting
Yeah.
fired because she made racist comments about Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Not
mean,
good. Jill's always been
no.
problematic, right?
See, I don't know if I watched like the original seasons of New York, but
I
or
did.
at least it's been a very, very, very long time. So I didn't know, like, I just knew that she was um, kind of like a lot. Not that most housewives aren't a lot, but that's what I knew about her. So I was disappointed when I saw this. I was just like, for real, like you just had your 5 minutes of comeback, and you haven't even come back yet, and now this, like what, like oh
And I will say, like, for all of those, like, housewife fans out there, I am definitely, I don't even know what you call it. Like, I'm a classic housewife fan, right? Like, give me the OG New York City and the OG Orange County every day of the week, right? Like, I honestly, I would be totally fine if they all had their own spin-off shows. And I think it's because, like, I feel like the housewives have kind of replaced like old school soap operas where they just go
yeah,
on
for
forever and
sure.
ever and ever and
Yeah,
ever and you just get attached to, like, in soap opera time it used to be attached to a character,
yeah,
right? And now we've just replaced character actor with a real person, you
yeah.
know. So I was kind of I mean, I am excited to see the reboot of New York. But I had the same sentiment that you did. I was like, you're just coming back like what are you doing?
Right.
And also too, like, this whole thing with the Super Bowl and and all of this controversy over it, part of me is just like, can't we just get over it? It can't, like, can't we
You know
just get
what?
over
It's
it? Don't
funny.
take the
Like I
bait,
haven't heard
like
anything
whatever it
about
is.
right. Like I haven't heard anything about that since like a couple days after the Super Bowl, except for these cases where people went off on dumb rants and got themselves fired. Like that. This is the only thing we're talking about. So it's like I don't know. I feel like the whole Super Bowl thing was just like very targeted outrage to, and
And I sometimes I wonder if
it's
it's
just the
performative too, right? It feels a
yeah,
little performative, right? Like we're just trying to
yeah.
get
Like
like
it's yeah,
clickbait or something.
yeah.
I
Well,
hate to say that, like using
she
things like this for that.
phone. Yeah, I mean, she play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and now her prize is
That's
not only did she get fired from, she got booted from the reboot before filming even started, and she embarrassed her family company and the her ex or her late husband's fabric company even came out denouncing her because they use her, it's the same last name. And so she had two companies come out and say they don't agree with what she said, and she didn't even make her comeback yet.
well, and you know what I think is super interesting, and you bring up a really good point, is, you know, when people use any kind of social media in a public way to say things that are harassing, that
Yeah.
are, in this case, just completely like discriminatory and disparaging, right?
And not even true. Literally not
Right,
even true.
not true. This is how fast, like, you don't even have to be a reality star with a
Right.
platform like this. Like, it goes super fast, right?
Yeah.
Anywhere. I mean, or you could be doing something where, like, there are so many instances of people catching balls at baseball games that where
Right.
they went in front of a kid or took it from a kid, right?
Yeah.
And it goes viral. so quickly.
Yeah,
Um, and in this particular case, you've got multiple businesses that are impacted.
right.
And it's a really good like learning lesson for those of you that are like Bravo fans and you're working in HR. And we know there's a lot of you because we'll just put it right out there. Every time Nicole and I talk about our Bravo love, all of you TA Bravo fans show up and reach out to us, engage with us, talk about it, right? So we know that you're out there. It is not a far step from this kind of behavior and your workplace. But it's just
Oh
not.
no.
It's not.
I
And
mean,
we're
look at Tom Sandoval, where he made
gonna,
a very horrible personal choice, just like Jill did. And that business didn't end up working out either
and look at
because
the
of
other
it.
Tom. Look at the other
Right.
Tom
Right.
who
So
was
in
caught
each
in the
case,
crossfire
right.
of it.
In
Yeah.
each case, there are co-workers, there are investors, there are organizations, there are fans that are now, all of them are disappointed and impacted by one person dumb, discriminatory, hurtful decision to behave the way that they did in public.
Yeah, and I even think too, I think about, in the last couple of months, we've seen a number of global banks have to come
Oh
out
yeah.
and fire people, right? That are at the VP or level higher because
Yeah.
of whether it's instances where they're disparaging their
Yeah.
child's other sports team that they're playing against in a public forum and they have to
I was just so
fire that
stupid.
person. It was and also come out and apologize.
Yeah.
Or we're like right now, we're going to talk about healthcare stuff in a hospital,
Yeah.
like the explosion, the
Oh
absolute
yeah.
explosion
Oh yeah.
of misconduct at hospitals or in healthcare situations is it's almost becoming epidemic. Whether we've got
Yeah.
people recording things that they shouldn't be recording in areas that are deemed private and posting them publicly of patients in just different states of consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Or on the flip side, like hospitals trying to get ahead of that stuff and
Yeah.
reaching out to patients who they know have been recorded and trying to offer them tens of
Yeah.
thousands of dollars to sign non-disclosure and non like litigation agreements. I don't even know if I'm using the right term there, but we all understand what I
Yeah,
mean. I'm
no.
not a lawyer. I might play one on TV, but no. Um,
Honestly, I'm still laughing about your epidemic pun because we're talking about healthcare. So I'm laughing because I'm not even beyond that right now. But
like I'm laughing,
if the
right?
shoe fits.
Wear it. I'm laughing right now, but this is like super, super serious. Like if you're
Oh
someone in
yeah,
healthcare right
100%.
now and
Oh yeah.
you're not paying attention to this,
It's
it's
global too. It's
happening.
not just in the US,
Yeah,
it's in the UK, it's everywhere.
it's
And I feel like
everywhere.
this is one of those things where once a month, every single month, like we see law enforcement, which we'll get to, and we see government, we see healthcare.
Yep.
And yeah, and I mean, this is another one of those cases where a Florida labor and delivery nurse actually published a video that went viral of her wishing pregnancy complications on a very well known public political figure of, I guess, the opposite party of what she believes in. And we've seen this in the past. Of all areas of the political spectrum, where somebody will say something wishing somebody harm. And when you're in the healthcare field, you got to understand that you literally have an oath to treat
And
anybody who comes to you.
you're speaking in the area like you're a labor and delivery
Right,
nurse, and
right,
you're publicly wanting
right.
a woman to have complications with her pregnancy.
Yeah, yeah,
Like this to me, it's like it's just beyond. And if you're the hospital that is employing somebody who will go out publicly and say those things, think about your insurance costs. Like, how could you guarantee that this person is going to behave responsibly when your hospital's on the line?
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
wishing
and
this level of
even,
ill will to somebody. And we know, right? What
yeah,
people post online, the
right,
increase of what people are saying online and them taking action in the
right,
last year has gone through the roof. We know this from our
right.
own research.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it just seems to happen over and over again, especially in areas of discrimination. For example, like, so, companies have come to us after, for example, a healthcare professional says that they don't want to treat Jewish patients, then the same thing happens to them. They come to publicly, or they, don't think that they should treat patients who voted for somebody specific, or they think people should have medical complications because of who they are, what they believe. And in those cases, medical licenses are revoked, the hospitals are liable, or healthcare centers are liable. There's a patient impact because now those patients that are seeing that person have to find new providers. Like, there's so many different court consequences for these types of things. And yet
The
we
issue
still see
too
these
is
instances coming.
with the shortage of
Right.
healthcare
Right.
workers, right? There there's like a whole entire kind of place of I'm not suggesting that people are doing things that are um not legal from a hiring the right person, making sure they have like the right licenses and all those kinds of things, right? But you have to think about that the speed while speed to hire is important, right? And cost per hire is important. If you don't add what we're doing at FAMA, right?
Your
And do a
compliance
social
costs are
media background check or someone, and you are
right.
the person that hires that nurse next, think about your exposure. And
Yeah.
right now, the processes that you have in place, I will guarantee do not tell you that that person did what they did. And if you do
Yeah.
have somebody go, oh, yeah, I've got so and so who does a Google search on everybody. So we find that stuff. Well, hey, guess what? You're not compliant. So
Nope.
now you're opening yourself up to more legal exposure. You need
Yeah.
to do this in a way that's EEOC compliant and FCRA compliant, right?
Right.
So get ready because if you didn't do that in a compliant way and you go back to that person, they can sue
Yeah.
you. Now you're getting
Yeah.
sued from the person who behaved totally irresponsibly that you don't want to hire because your hiring practices were not compliant.
Yeah. And
It
that just
is.
goes to show the importance of, you need an updated employee handbook and an updated code of conduct. You need policies around how your expectations around how employees should behave online and in person. But especially online, you need to be training your people and reminding your people, like, hey, this is going on in the world, but here's, guidelines for our expectations. And this isn't to silence anybody at all. It's to maintain discourse that is um, positively reflective on both individuals, your customers, your shareholders, and your
And you're
organization as a whole.
creating a safe and healthy workplace.
Yeah. And
Everybody wants a workplace where people can go and do their jobs and not be subject to discrimination,
right.
to bullying, to
Right.
hate, to violence.
Yeah. Right. Everybody deserves to get home at the end of the day.
Hmm. So let's go move on, right? Because
Yeah.
we now have yet again, what do we have show up almost every time we do this? What are the police doing? Those that are supposed to be protecting us, how are they behaving in a weird, wild way? And I feel like I want to put the cops' Bad Boys song on here, but the
Oh
bad
my.
boys are the
Are the
cops.
police right? Right.
Bad boys, what you're gonna do? Don't get yourself on OnlyFans in your uniform.
Yeah, or don't go. And it's funny, like, I was reading an article the other day, and I think I shared it with you, about how business leaders, like half of business leaders, are concerned about social media behavior of employees, because employees are, with that, whether intentionally or not, they're disclosing company secrets on, like they're taking pictures of themselves at work, they're taking like they're videoing like day in the life, and there's like things in the background of those videos that are sensitive company information, that are confidential client information, that are important government documents that are should don't need to be shared. And it's an interesting kind of thought that that's happening within police departments, because today's case is somebody who not only shared offensive comments online, but also was videoing himself at work, and included videos posted on social media where there's like sensitive police maps in the background of the photos and the videos.
I just like, I just wish that a people would really be thinking about how they're posting at work, number one. And I feel like
Yeah.
this is not just my like misconduct hat going on, it's my marketer hat too of
Oh,
be situationally
100%.
aware.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, yeah.
the second part is, when you are in a sensitive role, like your judgment and your
Yeah.
situational awareness should be much, much higher. And when you fail at both of those things,
Yeah.
well, sometimes you only get one,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
almost
when
said
I was an
one shot.
intern, oh, you're killing it with the puns
I
today.
know. And I was like, that's
You're
why I like we're talking about police. Like, I don't mean it that way. You only get one chance sometimes, right?
sometimes. I mean, yeah, when I was an intern and I first, when I, it was my first, like in the office marketing intern role. I was in on a social media team. And one of the first things I learned was, if you're going to take a picture at work, if you're going to post something at work, you have to check what's in the background of everything. You have to check literally every single detail, because you never know if there's a customer in the background. You never know what people are in the background. You don't know what text is in the background. You don't know
Yeah.
if whatever is going on in the background, it's not just your cute face, it's not just like what you're doing on screen. Every single thing in the photo, in the image, in a video is important and has consequences. And what's interesting to me is, I don't think that people are getting that same, like this like sit down that I got at the very like early on, to say like,
I
you
think
know what
it's
I mean?
because of scale. Like honestly, this is what I really
That's
think the
fair. That's
problem
fair. Yeah.
is that in the past, right, you would only have certain people at an organization that were authorized to
Right.
do these kinds of things. Now, with everybody
Yeah.
with a phone in their pocket, everybody with social media, everybody with trying to create a personal brand,
Right.
it's like the wild, wild west. And
Yeah.
if you don't, to your point earlier, if you don't have a social media policy that's speaking
Right.
specifically to this, you're not keeping up. And you're right too. Everybody should be sat down, or there should be some kind of communication around if you're going to
Right.
be doing these things, how you should do this. Right. So, like, I mean, even this police officer, so they're sharing like police maps. The
Yeah.
person was also saying things that it was discriminatory content while
Yeah.
representing the organization. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
in uniform.
yeah, so
Yeah.
this is just again like the choices that people are making, and I think this is the thing that everyone needs to also realize. Then this is going to kind of be like a twofold thing. Is number one, people are people, right?
Yeah.
For as much policy as you have, people are going to either make mistakes or they're going to purposefully violate it. One of the two, right?
Yeah.
Um, in the cases where even if people purposefully violate it, right? We always talk about redemption.
Yeah.
There has to be a place and space for people to learn from their mistakes, right? And
Yeah.
for those people that have learned from their mistakes, there has to be opportunity for them, right? So,
Yeah.
we want to be able to make sure that we're creating policy that protects the organization, but
Right.
also has care and concern about the people. And,
Right.
in these cases that we talk about a lot of it is gross gross negligence, right? And
Yeah.
gross misconduct. But
Oh yeah.
there's a whole bunch of these kinds of things that go unreported every single day that
Yeah.
are still like problematic. And one of the things
Right.
that FAMA found in the last month was we actually were screening for a university dean um, opening. And one of the people that came through had a long history of misconduct. And
Yeah.
some of this would not like actually a lot of this would not have been found in just like a normal background check. Um,
Yeah.
but I think like the really interesting piece is that there was such a long history of instances that this is the kind of gross misconduct that
Oh yeah.
you want to completely avoid because somebody's doing this kind of stuff for years.
Right.
And there were things that also happened to this person where they were reprimanded and then they
Yeah.
continue to behave in that way. That shows a pattern of behavior over time that's likely not to change. And this
Right.
is exactly what you want to know about. You say, you know what?
Yeah.
I think that this, along with other considerations that we have, is probably not a person that's going to fit well into our culture. And
Yeah.
avoid those problematic hires. So it's like it's two sides of the coin. And every situation is different.
Yeah.
And, that's part of what everyone does so well that our heads of talent acquisition, directors of talent acquisition is setting those standards of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in their
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah. And just to add fuel to the fire, and that's a pun that you'll understand in like 3.5 seconds. This candidate that we screened actually had a long history of violating safety protocols that nearly caused an explosion at the university. So, and on top of them not following proper protocols in other areas and assaulting students on campus and violating FMLA laws. And yeah, there was just a history of non-compliance and inappropriate behavior. And like you were saying earlier, while it is important to give people time and space and to learn from their mistakes and grow and take accountability and change, at the point where you've had a long history
Right. You know when
total
something,
complete
yeah,
chaos,
exactly.
that
Yeah.
yeah.
So, this has been a really punny episode. We don't know why. It wasn't intended, but we hope that everyone enjoyed it. Um, and we also hope that in all of this humor, and we like to have fun with this because some of this is just so ridiculous, we hope that everyone is letting it sink in a little bit, making some better choices, and thinking about, you know, putting a social media check that's compliant as part of their process, and not just for high visibility hires, but for everybody.
Yeah.
Because we know that whether you're the DoorDash driver, the nurse at the hospital, the police officer, or the executive, you all are
Yeah.
behaving in a crazy way. It's all going viral, and companies are having to come out and apologize for it all the time. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, I'm Amy Warren,
And I'm Nicole Garati, and we talk about misconduct so you can avoid it.
and we'll see everybody next time.
Bye.
Bye.